everybody, Martin here, back with some vintage action playing Doomsday. So we get this hand, and I think this is like on the play, this is a definite keep. On the draw, if I knew I was up against like workshops or maybe Storm, I would be hesitant to keep something that can't force of will or mental misstep in the case of Storm. But in the blind on the draw, yeah, I think we keep this. But this hand loses pretty badly to like a turn 1 sphere. Or a turn 1 kill ya. We even have the Doomsday to give away what would otherwise look like a, I don't know, like an oath hand, or I don't know, some just fast bond gush deck. So what have you got for me? Duress. Okay, so we're up against Storm. So I suppose they take the recall, then they have to contend with the Flusterstorm, but maybe they might just have another discard spell. Force is not a bad card in this spot. So let's pass the turn. So this is, if this is Storm, which I think it is, I'm not hating the spot we're at, even though they took our recall. What, they're just passing? Or misclicking? Well, they just passed because they missed their land drop. We just pass. I'm not gushing from here. Oh, we should have played the Misty Rainforest though. Vamp Tutor. So we know that they know that we have Flusterstorm. So what are they up to? Probably getting a discard spell. Anyways, I think I'm okay letting it happen. I'm not sure what else they're getting. Something that isn't hit by Flusterstorm? Like maybe a defense grid. That would actually suck the big one. That's actually probably what they're getting. So we'll have to force of will that. Or I guess maybe they're getting their Lotus. Just because they're screwed on mana. Do I force of will that? Am I supposed to force of will Lotus here? If they had discard spell, they would have used it last turn when they didn't have anything going on. I think, unless they were just so dead set on resolving Vampiric Tutor. Jeez, I don't know. Well, I mean, you know what's going to happen, buddy. Sorry. Now, if that force had been a misdirection, oh, that would have been nice. Why would you do that? Just why not? Like, if our assumptions are that they vamped for recall, why wouldn't they vamp for a discard spell? They know we're gonna trade with the Fluster, then they could have had the recall in their deck. Yeah, I don't know. So we're gonna fetch to thin, even though that's supposedly not a thing at all, but let's just do it anyways because this is vintage. We don't have like a lot of we don't have a lot of what's its face. I'm sorry, I'm blanking here. Brainstorms is what I'm thinking of. Well, so now we get to, if we don't lose or lose our hand this turn, we get to win next turn. Well, they found the second land. So we get to hardcast the Doomsday. And we'll get the recall. We'll get the Lotus. We'll get the, where is he? Labman. Taxian Probe, I guess. So we'll gush into recall Lotus. We'll recall into Labman, gush. Probe, yeah, sure. No, we don't need the gush, right? We can afford to get like, so sorry. We'll gush into recall Lotus. We'll recall into Labman, Sapphire, Flusterstorm. Just to have all bases covered, and then we'll gush again. So yeah, let's get Flusterstorm. Recall Lotus. Flusterstorm. Oh, we can't. We need the, instead of the probe, it needs to be Mox Sapphire. There we go. Yep. So let's just do like this. So we're able to do this because we have 4 islands, so we can gush twice. So play the Sapphire to have Flusterstorm. Play the Labman. And gush again. Sweet. Alright, so this being Storm, let's bring in the Duress. Let's bring in the Nihil Spellbomb. Let's bring in Nature's Claim to get their defense grid. And maybe we bring in like 2 ley lines. Because I don't think there's that much I want to cut. Let's cut the misdirection. We can cut the time walk, I guess. Maybe we can cut down on like win conditions. Like, I guess the fast bond. And I think that means we can also cut down like a merchant scroll and a gush. Where's gush? I'm kind of pulling stuff out of my butt in terms of figuring out how the format works and like especially sideboarding strategies. So bear with me, please. If I come off as a complete newbie. Okay, well, this is pretty good, I think. We don't have... this is a little bit awkward, like these two, but I think we keep this, right? Hopefully the ley line will, like, keep them from just going off through the... Well, going off super fast. We go turn 1 Spellbomb because we have nothing else. And then turn 2 Demonic Fur. Doomsday turn 3 win, but that is like assuming they don't have interaction for us. Drawing another land isn't exactly what we were hoping for. And here is the dreaded complete overlapping. Yeah. Brainstorm end of turn, sure. So maybe with the double ley line having the spell bomb also just is a bit of like too much. But obviously I'm saying that now that it actually happened that I got both in my opening hand. Nice thing about leyline is we can actually use it to draw a card to draw into the Doomsday pile. So there's that. Okay, probe. Well, we basically have F6 here. I don't know that Storm brings in like counter spells, but I mean, who's to say really that they might have something like Mindbreak Trap or something in the sideboard. So I think right now we're looking to dodge is like dying or them having discard spells. Both of which are a very, very real possibility. Alright, now what? They are deep in the tank, it would appear. Ponder, sure. We've F6 here. We have no meaningful plays. If we see them destroying our ley line, we will on F6 to be able to actually sack the spell bomb if need be, but I don't think that's very likely to be a thing. Let's see what they do with this ponder. They do not shuffle. Found something they liked. Dress, sure. I guess take the tutor. Well, we still have like 4 Doomsdays, so. Doomsday win. Well, no. We don't win, but Black Lotus is a pretty good magic card. Maybe we just cycled this spell bomb at end of turn. Actually. I'm not sure. How does this work? Do I pay the black mana immediately? Okay, there's a trigger. Therapy. Let's draw a card, see if we like draw a Flusterstorm or a Misstep. We don't. So the thing is, if they have the kill here, then they just name Gush. See, we don't have anything, and we have no way to sort of interact with them. If we Gush in response because we think they have the kill, then they just name Force of Will or Flusterstorm, whichever one they find to be the most likely for us to have. But getting set back on the 2 lands, I don't know, maybe it doesn't matter that much with the Lotus. think I'm okay with this actually. Thinking about it because we have the Lotus. If we didn't have the Lotus in play, I would not have gushed in response. Okay, well, they'll get to name Dark Ritual. We will have 5 cards in our yard, 6 with the Rainforest. So we could cruise next turn, but that would require us to sack our Lotus. Oops, waiting on me. Wow, they named Gush again. That seems like a weird name, I guess. Well, what do I know? Huh. Interesting. Okay, so they Ravenous Trap our yard. That means Treasure Cruise is a long way away. But, wow. Ravenous Trap. Right, okay. Wow, that is a pretty amazing magic card we just drew there. So amazing, in fact, that I am going to not use it right now. So I think I wait. There's a world where you want to use it on their upkeep, but I think it's mainly when they're playing like stack-based interaction. Which I am, Ravenous Traps aside, sort of assuming that they aren't. That's an annoying card. So we could recall here, but to maybe find a force. If we did, it's not worth forcing that time walk. So let's let it resolve. They'll get this cycle. Okay. Okay. Mind's Desire? Or Bargain? I guess if it was Bargain, they wouldn't have played out. Dark Petition. So I think we have to recall here. So like they either get, well, not either. They will get Necromancer, not Necromancer, Necropotence, or I guess Mind's Desire actually. That would work for them. If they get Mind's Desire, then our only out is recalling into a Flusterstorm, where right now we can recall into a Force. Let's hope we do that. When we do, great. And there's the win as well. Lucky us. So let's kill the cruise, and we win next turn through Dark Ritual Doomsday with Ponder. So actually, let's use the Lotus while the Lotus using is good and usable, and that didn't make sense. Let's get the Lotus, get the recall, get the Lab Man, get a Gush, and whatever for the last one. So, yep, got the blue mana. I think if we hadn't had the Lotus in play to make the extra blue mana, we could have gotten, um, could have made the pile so that we had. Yeah, actually, what would we have done then? Maybe we couldn't have done it then. Hulk smash. So yeah, we got there. They are hellbent and are about to die. Cool stuff. Man, I love Storm as well. It's an awesome deck. I think like if I ever get around to like getting full power and stuff, I really want to play Storm in paper because it feels like the most fun uh like decadent vintage deck. It just gets to play all the most broken spells like Mind's Desire as well and Bargain and all the Power 9 Twister as well. Where this feels more like a lean machine that doesn't really dabble in like anything but its game plan. But that's pretty nice because we get to play all the counter spells. But anyways, yeah, that's it. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed these vintage videos, and I'll try to be back. I've tried to make it a habit lately to record and release once a week. I'm trying to make Thursday that day for no particular reason other than that was like the first like two similar weekdays in a row when I was thinking about it. So in a few, like, once this is released, it'll be like my second to last day at work before I go on paternity leave for 12 weeks, which is going to be awesome. But it's also going to be like, yeah, a lot of time with my son, so I'm really looking forward to that. During that time, I don't know if I'll be able to keep up with like a release every week, but I will try to, and I will try to alternate between like legacy and vintage videos as much as I can and feel like. I really, really, really wish that there were, I guess for a lot of reasons, all of them pretty obvious, vintage leagues, but there isn't a vintage league. What this means is, as you notice, like my vintage videos are just for me queuing in the two-man queue. And it is pay to play, so it's not like if you know Magic Online, you can pay to play or you can go in the free to play lobby. If you go into the free to play lobby and play, then like half of the time someone like your opponent just sort of quits in the middle of a match, or they are playing like a janky weird deck, or they join with their standard deck in the legacy or vintage match. And the other half of the time you get good fun matches, so it's not like all bad or anything. But when you play in the pay to play, you get real opposition, although not as, I would say, not as consistently high level opposition as you would in like a league or like a higher tier competition. And what that means is I don't really feel like I get totally into like testing stuff. There are the daily vintage events, but they are at like a pretty miserable time slot for us Euros, and B, it is just it's just really not feasible for me with the way life is right now with a 10-month-old baby in the house. I just can't really commit myself to like 4 or so hours. I could, I suppose, if I really wanted to, make like an effort to do it every now and again, but I would just rather prioritize my time differently. Whereas with Legacy, playing the league, you can easily, a lot of the times, easily finish a league in like half the time it takes to play like a daily, especially if you're playing combo, which I am a lot of the time. So like a lot of the matches are fast, but you can do that or you can spread it out. So like I guess what I'm getting at, and for anyone still bothering to listen, I'm sorry, I know I have a tendency to talk a lot, but the thing I'm getting at is that the legacy videos might seem more sort of conceptually uh, complete because they are usually done from playing League. So you get like this narrative of like the 5 rounds, and the opposition usually is a bit higher, and you get more matches to test your deck. Whereas with the vintage, I usually like honestly I can't often be bothered sitting queuing for like 5 times to get 5 matches because uh, sometimes the queuing is just so miserably long. Like it'll take like 10 or 15 minutes to get an opponent. And then like a lot of the times, and that's really cool, but you get the same opponent like a few times in a row. And while that might be okay, and you'll see that I've had the same opponent in my first 2 matches today, then it's not really that sort of inspiring. So yeah, I'm hoping one day that there will be a vintage league, but I don't think it's very likely as things are right now. Vintage is just too narrow a format, even like on Magic Online. So maybe if they decide to do like a Vintage Masters 2 at some point, like push it again, then that might induce them into making like a league. We can only hope. Other than that, yeah, I don't know. I hope to be able to play in the Power 9 Challenge at some point. Although, as you can expect, that's pretty hard for the reasons I already stated as to my reasons for not playing dailies. Um, but being on the weekends and actually like they begin like the Power 9 Challenge I think starts at 8 p.m. Saturday evening, European Central European time, which is where I'm located. So that actually some Saturdays is actually not the worst where, my son is asleep and it just means me getting like screwed for a good night's sleep, but I could do that. So I'm hoping to be able to do that, and I'd love to record those, if not live then as I'm like afterwards. But anyways, rambling done. Thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun to make these videos, and uh, I I'm so appreciative for everyone that like bothers to subscribe. That means a lot to me, and yeah. So if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe, and if not, that's cool too. And I'll see you around for some more Legacy Vintage stuff. Bye bye.